Thaddeus Erdahl. I'm from Princeton, New Jersey, and I'll talk to you about my piece in the show here. So I've been loosely working with this idea of being in the military. I was in the military when I was out of high school for 3 years, and so I made a body of work that was shown at Greenwich House Pottery in January, and so at the Dairy Barn show here, I'm showing 3 of those pieces, and this is one of the sergeants from the show, and so I was taking this idea of being in the military and kind of thinking about it in terms of hierarchy and kind of like who's in charge and who's not in charge. And like the funny thing with being in the military is that you're 18, you're kind of treated like you're an adult, but you're also treated like you're a child at the same time. So I was making scale became a big kind of part of the show, and so I was making oversized pieces, oversized busts to kind of talk about the people that were in charge. And so this sergeant is one of the people who was kind of in charge of these soldiers. And so the other 2 pieces I have in the show are much smaller. They're almost like the size of a kindergartner, and they're supposed to represent like the privates that are kind of like being dictated to and told what to do while you're in the service. And it's this constant kind of dichotomy between being expected to act like an adult but also being treated like a child at the same time, asking for permission to do things and kind of having to respond to the idea of having to have the responsibility to do things on your own. So the pieces are loosely based on that kind of concepts. The other 2 pieces in the show that I have are called Duty, and those kind of represent me as a private in some ways. So I was like a specialist. I was an E4 when I left the military. I came in as a private, which is like an E1, and these 2 guys kind of represent one of the things that we had to do, which was pull guard duty. So again, talking about like this hierarchy, these guys are this scale that kind of represents a child. They're kind of masked and hidden because part of the military is like the idea of play and dress up. Like you're expected to dress up in this uniform, you're expected to put on camouflage and change your identity. So I was, purposely changing the identity of these 2 soldiers to kind of represent kind of play and dress up. But they're both similar in some ways because once again, like being in the military, you're also expected to conform and be a certain way. And so I try to kind of show these subtle shifts in identity through how maybe I modeled the clothing or how I use the camouflage on the piece, but try to keep some consistencies in terms of scale and just how colors were used to signify different parts of the uniform.